this is your first or second time here, hope you enjoyed the video. If this is your third time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can stay updated on when I post. Now, if you've played Atomfall, you know that the Thralls are the most annoying enemies you will face in the game. Find them in the medical wing, and you can find them in Windscale itself. They're tanky enemies that you have to put a lot of damage into to make them go down. Problem is, they don't stay down. They stand back up and come back after you. It's like an old school kind of zombie, right? No matter how much you damage them, they're still going to come after you in the end. One of the other things that they seem to do is they infect you with the infection of the spores and of Oberon when they hit you, which is a neat little aspect of it. Sitting and playing Atomfall got me thinking of, what are these things actually? How come they can take so much damage and get back up, right? Thralls, for instance. We see them in caves and we see them in different parts of the interchange. Blue humanoid people. I'm guessing they were people once upon a time. Then again, there are also aqua Thralls that we meet in on Midsummer Island. And they all seem to share the characteristics of somewhat emaciated, lanky, hit hard, come after you, usually in high infection areas where spores are present and that you come across there. They seem to be people that were overexposed to the spores themselves, and that turned them feral, right? Minds broken, can't figure out what's going on. Maybe their minds didn't mesh correctly with Oberon, but their bodies are what suffered the most here. Maybe the changes to their bodies are what made it so that they have completely lost everything they are. But the Thralls, on the other hand, that's a different story. Every Thrall is wearing a hazmat suit with a gas mask and respirator. Some of them even have body armor on, right? So we know that the Thralls were former Bard scientists exposed directly to and working with Oberon and the spores and other stuff that it had created. So you can figure these people had literal hands-on experience with, let's call it the essence of Oberon, right? Now, we know atomic batteries are made using Oberon. Some think it's the parts of the outer layer of it cracked off to make power sources. They have a unique blue glow to them. One other thing seems to have the same strange, unique glow to it, and that's the Angel's Essence from Midsummer Island. For those of you that do not know, the Angel on Midsummer Island is a fairly large portion of Oberon that cracked off and landed on the island instead of on the mainland, right? So it's developed its own personality over however long it's been here, well over 300 years at this point. Now, one of the unique things about the Angel is what's referred to as the Angel's Essence. The monks on the island would harvest this essence and use it to modify their alcohol. When we find the Angel's Essence, it's in a crystalline, gilded glass decanter container. And we can see that it glows the same way as an atomic battery does. So maybe the atomic batteries aren't powered by fragments of Oberon, because after a while, if you kept cracking off bits and pieces of a meteorite, you'd be left with nothing, right? And sure, there are some places that talk about trying to figure out a way to synthesize Oberite, but I think that it's a combination of the exterior of Oberon and then this essence, the blood of the beast, so to speak. Now, this essence has been used multiple times, I do believe. One of the most notable ways is the stimulants we come across in-game to level up. These stimulants are used to give us deeper pockets and other basic, odds and ends, more health. With the Wicked Isle DLC, which is about Midsummer Island, we also get a few unique abilities. Being able to see through walls to other people, being able to instantly dissolve bodies when killed, and being able to see echoes of the past. That's all well and fine. But one of the things that makes me think here is we come across these stimulants in Bard facilities, in Bard crates. And these scientists and these thralls that are wearing the hazmat suits, all worked for Bard. They were the ones most likely extracting the samples and refining them and creating these stimulants and the atomic batteries and the like, being overexposed to the essence of Oberon. Now, we never see underneath these suits at all. All we see is glowing eyes and then sometimes a cloud surrounding them when they attack us, or we finally fell one of them. Mind you, they'll get back up soon after anyway. But it makes me think that the link that these things have to Oberon is not just through the mind. After all, if someone takes 2 12-gauge blasts to the chest, they're not going to stand back up, ever, right? These things do. So that means maybe it's not even a person under that suit anymore. Maybe it's a fungus that is so ingrained in what it once was that it can now just move like a person. Maybe that's why the Thralls have blue skin, because instead of it being the overall hazmat suit keeping everything in place, it's just the human skin keeping everything in place. We also find Thralls in nests of this fungus that has grown. One of the other unique things that we come across is also on Midsummer Island. The Abbey Druids, as they're called. They all have blue skin and are extremely durable. Extremely durable. Almost as durable as a Thrall in some cases. It takes 2 well-placed headshots to take these things down. Anything else that should be a one-hit kill just does not kill these things. So, I started looking into them and looking at them. And the Abbey Druids are druids that have been exposed to the fungus in the Abbey. They're the same as the mainland druids, believing in the spirit of the soil, and they also believe in the angel on the island as well, as the voice of the soil, which they're not entirely wrong there. But one of the large things they do is they eat nothing but the fungus that they can harvest from the Abbey. Along with that, they eat and drink honey that's taken from the Abbey as well, which is from contaminated bees. The beekeeper himself is very large, imposing. Well, I'd personally say the beekeeper is probably a type of Thrall, a lesser Thrall, but a Thrall nonetheless, just due to how much damage he can take before he goes down. And I think this classification extends to all of the druids on the island as well. They're Thralls, but not in the sense of the Thralls we find in Windscale, right? The Thralls in Windscale are linked to Oberon, the overall full mass consciousness of it, and all the power that lays therein. The ones on Midsummer Island are connected to the Angel, which has one consciousness in it that governs all of it. And yes, there are other minds in it, such as the monks from the Abbey from 350 years before, along with any number of other minds that have connected to it before then. It's just, it is one centralized mind that is pulling information from the others, but they all keep their individuality, is the thing. With Oberon, it seems to just completely absorb everything and just toss it into a maelstrom of just minds, really. And this could be due to the smaller size of the fallen angel, or it could be just because it's younger and doesn't have as many minds vying for control. And as such, when it extends its influence over an individual, it can't fully take root like Oberon does. Because after all, if you have one person in the back of your head screaming at you, you can kind of tune it out, right? We see that with the miner in the cave in the main game. He talks about voices and how he hears them and whatnot, but doesn't really go into depth about that. You know, you can hear the voices too if you get overexposed to spores, and that's not too bad. It's just having one voice talking to you is a lot easier to handle than having 1,000 voices talk to you, right? Along with that, the sheer exposure to each of these essences, right? The druids are eating fungus that has grown from the corrupted soil and water of the area, and that's how they connected to the fallen angel. The Bard scientists, though, were refining and creating an extract of Oberon and literally exposing themselves to it by injecting themselves with it. It's like It's like accidentally eating some apple seeds that are known to have, and now I had to look this up because I always get the two confused. Apple seeds have a small amount of cyanide in them, right? Always wives' tale, never eat apple seeds because, you know, you could die from it and all that shit. The reality of it is, eating an apple core, you're not gonna die from it, right? But if you were to, you know, refine cyanide from apple seeds and then inject yourself with it, you'd fucking die, right? And it's that I'm going off of for this. It's the overall scale of potency of what we're dealing with. You know, a natural growing thing versus something that has been refined into an extract of something, right? So I think that we're seeing lesser thralls on the island of Midsummer compared to the full, unabashed thralls that we run into in the main game, which are just annoying to deal with, to say the least. Although, I have to say, the Druids on the island are a lot more annoying simply because there are so many of them you have to run into in the course of the DLC. But one of the main things that sets them apart from the normal Thralls, the Druid Thralls, is that they still use weapons. They use knives, they use bows, they use... I think I found some of them using an axe. One of them uses a club. They talk, they yell, they converse, which means they all still have their minds, for the most part. Which again comes back to the entirety of them simply being linked to the angel instead of having 1,000 different voices from all of history screaming into their head at the same time. And probably prehistory because the thing came from the stars, so who knows what else is crawling around inside that thing's mind. So by the by, that's it for today. Didn't really... Ow. That fucking hurt. Didn't really have much time to prepare this one. Or really, you know, work on the overall outline of it. Everything for Atomfall is really undocumented, which is interesting. Beyond that, I'd like to thank Eric Hewitt and Big O for sticking around. Thanks, guys. It means a lot. If you want to become a member too, link is down in the description. For $2 a month, you can get access to a bunch of different videos and stuff that are for members only, along with some polls and some little updates here and there. And, yeah. With that, I'm going to get out of here and, probably make some dinner at this point. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one.